What's going on, my super fam? How was your Alhaitham pulls? Now for me personally, I actually did skip on him because I didn't feel like I needed more DPS character on my account. But I did borrow an account from my friend where she managed to pull both Alhaitham and his weapon, which is pretty neat. Now I know that the video is kind of late, however the grind in which you need to farm in order to level up Alhaitham is so long because we have a new region and all the new bosses and materials and stuff. Plus after having tested him a lot, I would say he's going to be an interesting character to discuss here in this video, which is something of a usual on our channel guys, because in this video we're going to be looking in depth into the top 5 teams of Alhaitham after you have been able to pull for him and build him up. So guys, if you're someone who have a long list of characters you want to pull for yet you feel that you're lacking the Primogems, then in collaboration with Primogems Bargain guys, we're currently holding a 6,480 Primogems pack giveaway on our Discord server to help you have a better chance of pulling for the character that you want. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and join our Discord server to not miss out on the giveaway. With that guys, let's just dive into the video. First off, let's go through some of the most important points regarding Alhaitham, because it is something that is very important for you to keep in mind before you go ahead and build a team around him. Now overall, as I have mentioned above, Alhaitham is a very interesting character, which is that if you're just going to be looking into his gameplay video and stuff, you can't imagine how tough this character actually requires you to master his gameplay. Because first off, if you're still thinking that he's actually Kuching 2.0, then that is definitely not the case, because his playstyle and Kuching is like 180 degrees difference and they have nothing alike each other. Even though they both work as a DPS role, Kuching is more toward a quick swap playstyle character and she is very easy to play. However, on the other side, Alhaitham is not, because even though he still have the ability to do quick swap gameplay, but that is not as optimal as you having him on the field, because the majority of his damage comes from his projection mirror, from his E skill and also his burst. Therefore, if you want to have him deal the maximum damage possible, you will want to have his mirror on as much as possible. His normal attack gameplay is only around, I would say, 40% of his overall DPS damage, and the rest will go toward his projection damage and his burst. However, that's not the main tough thing you have to deal with Alhaitham. The hardest thing when you're playing Alhaitham is going to be managing his chisel mirror. Because of the fact that his projection damage takes up so much of his DPS, you always want to have 3 chisel mirror stack as long as possible. And so what you can do in order to gain maximum 3 stack is first off start off the rotation with his burst, so that the burst will actually gives him straight up a 3 mirror stack, and then after 4 seconds you can go ahead and cast your E skill, which will give him back another stack, making you another 3, and then after another 4 seconds you can actually go ahead and use your charge attack. Therefore this will allow him to have at least 10 seconds of full 3 stack mirror uptime. However, the easy thing would usually be the first rotation. The harder stuff comes when you hit the second rotation, because many of us won't be able to keep Alhaitham's energy recharge level enough for him to have burst every single rotation, which is why Alhaitham is a character that requires a lot of energy. Generally speaking, you do want to have him run alongside with another Dendro character, so there's gonna be a Dendro resonance plus more energy for him. But even if you are in a Dendro resonance team, you still want to have at least 150% energy recharge, so that you can guarantee a burst every rotation for Alhaitham, because without his burst you're actually losing out on quite a lot of DPS damage. And if you're deciding to only run Alhaitham solo as a Dendro character on the team, then you're requiring at least 170% energy recharge for a burst every rotation, and that is a very high amount of energy recharge requirement, which leaves you either running an energy recharge weapon on him, or you want to have a lot of luck onto your artifact substats to hit that energy recharge requirement. Also regarding Alhaitham's artifacts, if you're running 2 Dendro character, which again I recommend, then he will be able to make use of the Gilded Dream artifact sets on him, and then you can have the Deep Wood set onto the other Dendro support character, and this will be able to make the most out of this artifacts combo. However, if you're running him solo, then the Deep Wood set is something gonna be of a must because this will outperform the Gilded Dream on solo Dendro team. And so with that, let's now dive into the top 5 best team of Alhaitham. Something to note guys is that I am on a borrowed account and this account doesn't have Kokomi and Nahida. So I will be using replacement character for Nahida and Kokomi, and I will make sure to let you know which kind and which type of replacement you can go with some of these teams. And first off, we have Alhaitham's Hyper Bloom team, which features Alhaitham, Yao Yao, Yelan, and Raiden. In this team's case, generally speaking, you can switch in Nahida and Kokomi in place of Yao Yao and Yelan. But if you're someone who's having Yao Yao pulled on your account after trying to get Alhaitham, then I would say Yao Yao is a perfect character because her introduction in terms of Dendro healing have opened up especially Dendro characters a lot of different team comps. And Yao Yao being here on the team actually allows you to have Yelan and Raiden Shogun to be on this team, and these two characters are also very good sub DPS character to help you alongside with Alhaitham already. Overall, Hyper Bloom for Alhaitham is gonna be his highest damaging team, and also with Raiden Shogun being on the team, it's already allowed Alhaitham to require a lot less energy recharge, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you to manage his energy recharge level. Plus, Raiden Shogun does allow you to have a little bit of electro sub DPS damage whenever Alhaitham is on his off-field time, so it works well overall for this team as well. Regarding this team rotation, you first start off with Raiden's E, to Yao Yao's E skill, to Yelan's EQ, and then to Alhaitham burst. Do his normal attack while the projection mirror is still on, and then after 4 seconds you can use his E skill. This is generally overall gonna be how you play Alhaitham, because do remember that you wanna have his 3 mirror stack on as long as possible, and doing this will allow him to do so. And also I will assume that you have already built the energy recharge requirements of Alhaitham to a decently good level so that you can have his burst on every single rotation, otherwise he's gonna have a lot of DPS power loss. Next team, we have a Quicken Alhaitham team featuring Alhaitham, Yao Yao, Raiden Shogun, and Fischl. Now if you're someone who wants to run Nahida on this team, then you can switch in Kuki Shinobu and Nahida in place of Yao Yao and Fischl, and it will still works absolutely fantastically. But since we don't have Nahida on this account, definitely Yao Yao will be able to take the stage almost all the time. So the team is relatively easy because everything we're going to be doing is technically speaking going to be Quicken and Aggravate here and there, basically focusing on only Electro and Dendro reaction effect, with Fischl and Raiden helping you with sub DPS damage, and you're pretty much good to go. Regarding this team rotation, you first start off with Raiden's E, to Yao Yao's E skill, to Fischl's E, and then towards Alhaitham burst and his E skill. Next in line, we have a Bersian Alhaitham team featuring Alhaitham, Xiangling, Xingqiu, and Bennett. This team surprisingly performs very well guys after my testing, and they can sometimes perform equal to the 2 teams above we have just mentioned. We have Xiangling, Xingqiu, Bennett, the 3 character who always features on our national team. Being here to support Alhaitham is one of the best things that you can have, especially if you are on a free-to-play account. Plus, Bersian team usage in the community I feel that sometimes is a little bit less than the other 2 teams we have just mentioned, so having a good Bersian Alhaitham team is actually really good. For this team rotation, we start off with Xingqiu's EQ, to use setting up Bennett's EQ, to Xiangling's EQ so that she snapshot her burst, and then to Alhaitham's QE. Doing this will make sure that everyone on the team have the sufficient amount of time to get Bennett's buff, and also Alhaitham being in the duration of Bennett's buff to deal a lot of damage from his burst and his E skill attack. Fourth team, we have Alhaitham being in Nilu's Bloom team, featuring Alhaitham, Barbara, Yao Yao, and Nilu. Now I would say that this is quite a budget Nilu Bloom team, because usually there's gonna be Nahida and Kokomi on this team. But once again, I don't have these 2 characters to showcase, so I'll be using this pretty much a free-to-play option right here. But all in all, Nilu's Bloom team featuring like this is still performing absolutely fantastically, especially after we have Alhaitham here, allowing us to have even more source of triggering bountiful cores in order to deal Bloom damage. Now building in a Nilu team is kind of like specific because most of the damage you're doing is generally speaking gonna be coming from the bountiful cores. So if you want, you can actually build more towards EM Alhaitham, because since you're gonna be having him as a driver on field, he's gonna be the triggerer most of the time regarding using the bountiful cores, but that is if you actually have spare artifacts to actually fit on him, because it is quite expensive to have different kind of sets for one character. But overall, Nilou Bloom team is still a very much powerful team, and Alhaitham fits perfectly on this team to play around with. Now if you are running in a budget free-to-play team like this, how the rotation is gonna be is first you cast off Nilou E skill, and then set up Yao Yao's E skill to Barbara's E, and then to Alhaitham Burst E skill. And then finally we have an Alhaitham Burning team featuring Alhaitham, Xiangling, Bennett, and Yao Yao. Now I know that many of you would disregard a Burning team because we all know that Burning reaction isn't as powerful as the other reaction teams. But guys, I have to say that Alhaitham Burning team isn't too bad. It is true that the performance regarding this team is slightly less. I wouldn't say too much less after all of my testing. However, since we've already been using the other Dendro reaction team for so many times across so many different Dendro characters already, why don't we just give Burning teams a little bit more chance? And it's actually quite fun as well because this reaction team is really easy to play. Plus it actually features a Dendro Resonance plus Pyro Resonance, helping Alhaitham have quite a lot of buff because Alhaitham do gets attack buff as well, so he will be able to make use of this team really well. And so if you're someone who's already grown really tired of playing around with all of the other teams, you can definitely give this team a try because it does perform rather well. Regarding this team rotation, you first start off with Yao Yao's E, to Bennett's EQ, to Xiangling's EQ, and then to Alhaitham's burst to his E. So Alhaitham is definitely an interesting character to add to our list of 5-star character. I know that he is another DPS character added to the game, and we've already had so many DPS character, but the fact that he gains access to a long time Dendro infusion with very nice attack animation and an interesting gameplay to boot does actually bring kind of a fresh feeling to Genshin Impact characters. So I will be definitely looking forward to more character like this in the future. So guys, those would be my top 5 teams for Alhaitham to run at this point in time. I know that there are many other kind of team that you can run alongside with Alhaitham. So if you have any other team that you think is good, do leave it down in the comment section and I will get to you there. I hope that this video have been very valuable to you, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on my future Genshin Impact content. Plus there is a giveaway that is happening right now, so don't miss out that chance as well. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me till this part of the video, and with that I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.